Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of My Journey, the series where I showcase some of my most recent Track of the Day author medals in my ongoing effort to achieve them all. We will be starting out volume number 30 today with my 618th author medal, which came on the track They Call Me John Bobsleigh, made by Trev, and it was the Track of the Day on November 12th of 2025. Just like the name suggests here, this will be a bobsleigh but also a full speed track, and it has an author medal time of 47.946 seconds. About 500 players have achieved this medal as well, and it took me 35 minutes to get it, ending with a time of 47.924 seconds. Overall, I thought this was an okay track. I don't think it's bad, but it's certainly not my favorite, and it really came down to the speed slides on it, especially the speed slides in the second portion of this track. I just did not find them to be super intuitive and awkward to perform and hold, and it really soured my experience on the track, as it was just not all that fun to go for those speed slides. My 619th author medal came on the track Farfarello, made by Pecorenzo, and it was the Track of the Day on November 15th of 2025. Farfarello will be a dirt track, and the author medal time here comes in at 42.368 seconds. That'll be a little bit easier than the previous track, with about 1,100 players having it and taking me about 11 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 42.225 seconds. This will be another one where I thought it was kinda just okay, and that is a little bit surprising, as I have typically enjoyed Pecorenzo tracks in the past, but for whatever reason, this one overall, it just felt a little bit awkward for me to drive. Like, every single timing of every single turn, it just felt a little bit off. Next up, for my 620th author medal, we have the track WWC2 Elbrus, made by Technoway Music, and it was the Track of the Day on November 22nd of 2025. Elbrus was a snow car track with an author time of 38.34 seconds, and about 700 players have achieved that author medal as well. It took me about 21 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 38.326 seconds. This will yet again be another okay track in my opinion, and there's also just not a lot to say about it. It's just full speed snow car with reactor boost. Really just got to avoid sliding out at all, as that will pretty much cost you getting the author medal. The next track we have here is Artificial Oasis, made by Denality, and it was the Track of the Day on August 22nd of 2025. Artificial Oasis, I feel, is best described as a speed fun track, and it has an author time of 48.764 seconds. About 4,100 players have that medal, making it the easiest track from today's video, and it took me just 3 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 48.764 seconds. On one hand, this will end our streak of tracks I felt was just okay, but on the other hand, unfortunately this track was not very good in my opinion, and it starts from the very opening drift, which was super easy to nose slide with the speed and angle. Other parts of the track you also just have too much speed for, or otherwise awkward angles as well, and it just was not the most pleasing track to drive. For my 622nd author medal, we have the track Boxed FS, made by Entry Lag, and it was the Track of the Day back on March 27th of 2021. Just like the name says here, this will be a full speed track, and it has an author time of 42.062 seconds. About 1,500 players have achieved that medal as well, and it took me about 11 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 41.952 seconds. Overall, I thought this was a perfectly fine full-speed track. It is a little bit on the basic side, however, but I guess that's to be expected with the age of the track. Really, my only complaint about it is the entrance to the looping that we just passed. It's the only looping on the track, but yeah, the entrance I found to be very unintuitive. The next track we have here is Unbreakable, made by Squeaky Tomato, and it was the Track of the Day on January 18th of 2026. Unbreakable was a speed fun track with an author time of 57.557 seconds, and about 2,300 players have achieved that medal as well. It took me just 6 minutes to drive this one, ending with a time of 57.361 seconds. Overall, I thought this was a decent track, and it certainly was, a little bit different from what we normally get, which Nadeo said for Sundays they're going to try a little bit more experimentation with tracks, and I think this one certainly fits that bill, though it is not like super far out there. It is definitely different. Really the only part I didn't care for is this reactor up driving section. Whether that means that part is actually bad or maybe I'm just not used to reactor up driving, I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard to judge that. But overall, you know, a decent track here, and I certainly enjoyed my time on it. For my 624th author medal, we have Teal Travels, made by Friendly Snowball, and it was the track of the day on December 3rd of 2025. Teal Travels was a mixed track, and the author medal time on this one is 50.838 seconds, and about 1,100 players have achieved that medal as well. It took me about 9 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 50.834 seconds. I thought this was a pretty darn good track. I'm not really sure what the community had problems with on this one to only receive a neutral, but yeah, I thought this was a very good track. Really, the only thing that could have been better, maybe some of the transitions could have been a tiny bit smoother, and the final ice slide I feel could have been a little bit better by just removing the giant hole in front of the finish that you have to avoid. But overall, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed driving this track. My next author medal came on the track Plastic Funk, made by Atomic, and it was the track of the day on December 7th of 2025. Yet again, just like the name says here, this will be a plastic track, and it has an author time of 42.222 seconds. About 950 players have achieved that medal as well, and it took me about 26 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 42.025 seconds. I really wish I could have enjoyed this track way more than I did. You know, it could have been easily a plus, and it's really lucky I even gave it a plus here. But really, it fell victim to putting light poles on the apex of every single corner. Super easy to clip them, very frustrating, very annoying, and it would have been so much better without them. My next author medal came on the track The Sky Was Never Whole, made by We Relics, and it was the track of the day on December 8th of 2025. The Sky Was Never Whole is a mixed track with an author time of 51.054 seconds, and about 1,200 players have achieved this medal as well. It took me about 17 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 50.901 seconds. Overall, I thought this was a solid track, maybe not quite good enough to push it into the plus tier for me, but I did very much enjoy driving this one. Nothing inherently wrong with the routes on it either. Overall, again, just a solid track. I will say there is a cut on this one, which I did go for about 9 minutes of the 17 minutes it took me to get the author medal here. Ultimately was unsuccessful on that, but overall, again, a solid track. My 627th and final author medal for today's video came on the track Forgotten, made by Rextor, and it was the track of the day back on August 11th of 2020. Forgotten is a speed tech and a grass track, and it has an author medal time of 43.701 seconds. About 2,500 players have achieved this medal as well, and it took me about 8 minutes to drive it, ending with a time of 43.588 seconds. There's honestly not a whole lot to say about this one. The track is just very simple, and there's not a whole lot going on. I will say, though, that the final turn is not very good. You just have way too much speed and have to perform a very awkward and sudden drift in order to make it, and it's just not great. And with that, we will conclude volume number 30 here today. As always, if you're interested in driving any of the tracks you saw, there will be links in the description to all of them, and you can also find them in my in-game club called Club Teuty. I also hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to like it and subscribe so you don't miss out on any in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all here next time with volume 31.